Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on the moment you watch this. And I'm recording this on the 1st of January 2026. So let's start with saying Happy New Year. I wish you the best for the new year. I wish you luck, health, all nothing than good. Um, well, to start with that. So, a video from me. It has been a long time, and let me first say I'm Dutch, so my English is not my native language. It can happen I have to think about some words to use, or maybe my English is not perfect, but I'll try my best, and I'm sure I will be able to to tell the message in the right way. Because I have some news to share, and I already gave some hints away over the past few days. But it's a new year with new opportunities, and one of those opportunities for me is starting a web shop called Veluwsch Verfgoed. And Felus Fairoot is a Dutch word, a Dutch word actually. I will explain later on in this video what it means. But let me tell you, starting a web shop or even dyeing yarn was definitely not in my time management, and also not my plan. But sometimes life goes in different directions than you want to. And to explain why I'm doing this now, I think it is a wise idea to do some time lapse and go back to the beginning of 2025, because I think I'll have told it before, and also wrote about it sometimes, that I started a new job with an education besides in healthcare to become a nurse. I started that at the end of 2024, but I also had to deal by the end of 2024 with a lot of grief, because many dear ones around me passed away, and just a few of them you knew because I mentioned them on social media whatsoever to honor them. But it was a pretty hard time to also deal with some grief, and also being in a new education with a new job in a complete new environment for me, because I never worked in healthcare, and it can be a really tough situation sometimes because you have to deal with lots of things. However, I managed, and it had a side effect that the whole crafting thing, like crocheting or knitting or pattern designing, actually became somewhere in the background. And for a long time I even didn't crochet because I just was too busy and didn't feel like it. And I fully took attention and my energy to getting the job done and putting my education in first place. So around 2025, the beginning, all was well, and I succeeded on that, and everything went well till around May probably. I get sick, and I'm not gonna deepen out the sickness or what was the reason behind it, but it had the side effect that I need to have surgery. So around the summer period, where you normally have some vacation and you can rest a little, well, for me it was surgery and recovery time after that. And then the moment the recovery period was almost done, around September, I had to get back to school and educate and exams and whatsoever. And so for me, there was no time to actually get back to my old self, but continue on by just being back in the regular life for whatsoever. And well, it was really stressful. And although I thought after recovery I was my old self again, well, I realized soon enough there was still some well, recovery to go. Um, and that made the last months of this year pretty hard because I still had to recover physically and mentally a little. I had to educate, I had to complete my exams, I had to work full time besides it. Healthcare can be really heavy sometimes. You have shifts where, like, 10 things happening at the same time, and you have to deal with it all at once, which is no problem, but it also costs you something. And well, at well the second week of November, my employee just told me like, well, I was a little at education. I didn't. I noticed that I couldn't keep the process up. Like I couldn't finish the task I had to do to continue on with the education because, well, the energy was low. I just couldn't keep up with it, and there was actually also not that much guidance out of the school. So it also meant I was not on full task at the same time. Of task, I was not ready to go on to the second education year, and so my employee well decided to no longer host a learning job at their place. So well, I was fired, and it's not like well, they didn't bring it that way, but it actually meant like, okay, you were sick, you had an operation of a surgery, and you can keep up. Okay, bye bye, find another place. And well, that's really was the last drop in the basket to, well, drown me out, because, well, you put all effort in a full year to be able to continue on and to have things under control, and then at the end of the year you hear like, okay, it was for nothing. And at that point I had I could two roads, and one road was find another healthcare organization to continue of to get a place once again to continue my education and finally complete for a certificate for an education degree, or I could quit the whole thing and save my education for what I've done, but not continue on in healthcare for now. And as I still have a little surgery planned for next year, for this year, 2026, totally drawn from energy, not being fully ready physically and mentally, once again finding a job and start over at a new employee with an education once again, I didn't feel like that was a good idea. And although it's really a waste, because I really love healthcare and I did it with all the happiness I had and full of heart, but I did know it was not the right time now to continue on and don't take the time for myself to fully be back on my feet. So I took the second option, and although there were already some well, conversations and little things behind the scenes going on crafting level, I actually didn't do anything with these things because, well, I was far too busy with keeping all things in the air. Anyway, So half November, I made the decision to, or at least I didn't make a decision, but I was fired, and it left me up with, okay, and what to do for the next year, because, well, there has to be an income, there has to be, I have to live, and as each and every one of you, there has to be an input to actually be able to rent a house and to live and to buy food and whatsoever. So I made a decision, and that's where Felus Fairoot comes in, because I decided to open up my own web shop. It felt really good to get back to the thing I've done for years now, because, well, crocheting, designing patterns has always been my, well, how do you call it, your safe bubble. It feels always good to work with it and on it, and it probably also is the thing that gives me the most comfort to be in. And so it felt really good to get back on that road again, because it will also give me the time and the right mindset to get to my older self, to my old self, my old version self, like before surgery and everything. And it gives me a lot of happiness. And I dyed some yarn in the past just for myself, or on a small amount, but I also really loved working with color and with yarn. And well, now we're gonna see if this can also be done professionally, and if you guys really like what I come up with, because Felus Fairoot, I will explain later on in this video what it really brings, like what kind of yarns and what you can expect. But first, Felus Fairoot, what does it mean? Felus is actually the Veluwe, and Veluwe is a Dutch word for a large part of nature in the middle of the Netherlands, where I live. I live in the middle of almost a nature, well, how do you say it, nature reserve, or it's not, there is lots of wildlife and lots of forests and lots of stories to tell here. And so it felt really good to start dyeing yarn in as inspiration with this the place I been born in, and also to live in, because, well, if you know my work and you know me already for a longer time, you know I love everything nature, and my color work is most of the time based on nature. You won't find very vivid or neon-like colors from my side most of the time, and I thought it might be a real fitting thing to use that in my dyeing work. So that is what Felus means. Verfgoed is like heritage, so it's a tribute to the place I live. So that makes Felus Verfgoed. Actually, and it's a little reference to, because verf is paint in Dutch, so it means like a heritage in paint, in dyeing to the Veluwe. Well, and that's for now my new plan for the year. So I really hope it will be successful, and that Felus Fairoot brings me the things I want to be fully able to provide on my own. And I will do it on my own, because in the past I have noticed that sometimes collaborations or working with others or whatsoever don't always bring the joy you search for, and not always keeps you on the way you want to be, because I have noticed that doing what I think that is right, being in my own I'm saying it wrong, being on your own course, like what I think that is good and what I think that is the right thing to do, often works the best for me, but also what you guys most of the time like. So I want to really also with this new web store, I want to keep it that way. What I'll think is the best, I will do there. And it is, I think, the best way to start this business. And I will do everything myself, from shipping to dyeing to winding to designing labels whatsoever. But that also makes it the most wonderful thing to do, because I can put my whole entire day working around this thing and come up with wonderful new things. And I really hope this year will give me the profits and the success with it. And so a wonderful start of the new year with Veluwsch Verfgoed. And maybe it's now time to tell you some more about what I will actually have in my store. Okay, so I've gathered around a lot of items here on my table because I'm going to show you and tell something about the products that I'm going to have in my web shop. And as mentioned before, of course, hand-dyed yarn by me. All the yarn that I dye now is professionally dyed, so it's professionally heated, not overheated. It is skeened by me. It's labeled by me. It's dried by me. Everything, and it's done on a really professional base. So there's not some kind of I have started this whole thing with the right tools and the right thing to do. So that's important to tell, because you can expect a high quality yarn from my side, which is hand dyed. And to show you some things, and I must say there is a lot of daylight at the moment, so colors can be a bit off on camera. So if you want a real true color of things, just look into the web shop. There, everything photographed there is based on a real view. Most of the images really give a good image of how colors are, and here on camera things can look a bit vivid because of the light, but it's definitely a bit more cooler or serene. But let's start with the basic in my shop, which is Felus Fairoot sock. It's a sock yarn, a fingering weight. One skein is 100 grams with 400 meters of yarn. And as I say, colors, this skein really looks pretty vivid at the moment. Why it's a really rustic and calm green. And the same goes for other yarns. And I dye semi-solids, I dye variegated yarns. It's all different. The sock yarn is a merino based. It's 75% merino, which is super soft, and 25% of nylon, so it makes perfect sock. It's very durable, and it's, as said, really soft, but also the stitch definition of this yarn is amazing. And all the skeins, all the colors I dye are based on stories which the Veluwe here holds. Places, different nature reservates, wildlife, plants, flowers, all kinds of that stuff. And some things might be a bit weird because, well, if you translate some things out of Dutch or typical Dutch things, it can be a bit weird because some skeins also hold their Dutch name. So for you guys overseas, I can imagine some things looks a bit weird, but it definitely has a story. Each color and each skein has a story behind it, and I will explain some more about that later on. But for now, I'll just show you what I have, and if you are interested, please just visit the web shop and start looking and reading, and you can see whatever you want, and it's a real fun journey to explore there. So we have the basic sock, and it's available in 100 gram skeins, but also in mini skeins of 20 grams, and colors are most the same for both. And I also have a decay version of this sock. So Same conditions of yarn, also 75% nylon and 25% of, I'm sorry, I totally say that wrong. 75% of merino wool and 25% nylon. And most of the colors dyed are the same as the sock, because I now dyed about a basic collection of which I want to hold for a longer time. And besides that, there will be some special collections or whatsoever, because I am already dyeing at the moment a new collection for the spring. But later on I will tell you more about this. For now, let's start with this basic collection. And most of the colorways in that basic collection are dyed in fingering as well decay. And decay is same condition. Colors once again are a bit more vivid than in real. Only 100 grams of yarn is 225 meters. So it's definitely a thicker decay. And also available in mini skeins. If they stay, I don't know. It's just for now we have it, and I will see later on what is useful and what has to change. But another one I'll dye is the fingering sock tweed, and it's a really fun sock yarn. It's actually the same conditions. It's also merino wool, nylon, and a little bit of nep. And nep is the little bulge you see on a tweed skein. And this is a real fun sock yarn because it's really tweed. And colors once again are pretty heavy, because the one at the downside is actually a very soft eucalyptus color, and for now it looks like it's turquoise, but it isn't. Anyhow, doesn't matter. It's a real fun collection, which is available in most semi-solid colors, and I also work with this one at the moment, and I can show you a little preview of how tweed will turn out. And this is a work in progress, so not ready yet, but you have an idea of how it will look. It's a really beautiful soft tweed yarn and a really high twist, which makes the stitch definition, especially in cable work, perfect. And for the sock yarn, I also have made a fun new pattern, which is a bandana. For now, the pattern is not ready. I still have to write it out to the last lines. I hope to have this one ready at the end of this month. And as I have an event planned for next month, I hope this will be the release for that event. It's a real fun knitted bandana, but I just have made it with two colors of my sock, hand dyed sock, also to show you how nice the stitch definition and colors can be. And honestly, I have dyed about 600 skeins in 6 weeks to start this whole thing up. I didn't have a lot of time to already make a lot of things with all my products. So over the months are a lot of pattern ideas. And don't worry, you see a lot of knitting now, but there will also be lots of crochet work. Actually, also a really big crochet thing coming up this year. So lots of things in my head and to do, but I will need time, as all of you. First, I have set up this business, and now it's time to, to work on making things with my products, showing you what it can do. So later on, more about patterns. Well, that's all of the hand-dyed stuff, but I also have my own yarn brand in the shop. And that's actually it's a collaboration with Ade from Estonia, and it's called TGWTH, which is actually the guy with the hook, and Ade. And Ade is the Estonian company. It's a really small company on the farm side of on the farm side of Estonia. It's a really old fabric, which has old machines. Their work, the people their work, they're not many, and well, it's a lovely small business in Estonia who buys all the sheep coats, or well, how to say it, I don't know, but all the sheep coats from the farmers on the out of the country, out of Estonia. They pay them a good price for them, so they have a good. They can make a good income out of it and a good life. So they're not being pushed out by big companies which want to buy their products for the cheapest rate possible. That's important to tell. And they use those sheep coats to, or the sheep fur, I don't know how to say it properly, to create yarns. They wash it, they, well, I don't know the English word for it, but they process the fur to yarns. And what you get is a 100% wool yarn, which is really a natural product, raw and not too processed. And what you get is all kinds of these colors. And to mention, they produce the yarn. They make large batches of them, so large skeins with almost about 300 grams of yarn on a skein, and they dye it with natural colors. And they send it in big batches to me. What I'll do with it is I'll produce them by winding them up to little balls of 100 grams and make a label around it, just to make it more usable for you guys as customer, because sometimes you really don't need 500 grams of yarn for something and then you have to buy that. So actually process it to smaller balls, cakes to use, and it's a really lovely yarn. They produce just solid colors in fingering and decay. I have both, and these are decay samples for now. And as you can see, I wind them up. I'll wind them up. And each ball can vary in size, because one time I'll wind very fast and it tightens up. Next time I'll wind a little bit looser and the ball will be a bit wider. I always make sure the weight of the cake is the same. So don't worry, each cake you buy is the same weight. We have solid colors in both fingering and decay, but the fingering type of yarn is also available in gradient colors. Let me show you. And as you can see, these are just 3 examples. I have about 25 colors of them. They are really lovely. And if you see them like this, you might think they have a stripy effect, like stripes of colors. Nothing less. It's a gradient type of color. So the color flow is really gradient, and I will show you. Like this turquoise, I will show you. I have crocheted an example with it. Look. If you see how smooth the color change will be and how nice this whole thing ends up. So later on more about what this is, but just to show you how great the gradient type flow of yarn can be. If we take this one, I've knitted some color work with it, just a single head for now. But as you can see, this color is on the back of this head, combined with just a regular white, and look how beautiful the blending is. It is really amazing how lovely the colors flow around. So just examples for now. I will later on deepen out all things about the patterns, but for now this is just a startup. However, same goes for these balls. I'll wind them up, but as this is an gradient type of yarn, those colors change, like 5 colors will change around an amount of time each time in a bigger scheme. So if I wind this up, the color change is the same, but it can be starting at a different color point or whatsoever. Like this one is brown in the middle and brown outside, but next scheme can start at the orange at the center and end up with an lighter orange at the. It's just where to start and finish the winding process. That doesn't mean it delivers a different outcome, but each ball is unique in this way. And important to say is, if you want a matching, like if you want to use make it for a larger project, and you want to use it like it's flowing perfectly through, you can always send me a message about, hey, I want this thing. Do you have 2 matching balls, or can you wind one bigger ball which holds 200 grams for this, so it will nicely change up. Always possible. I can always look into it. I can't promise I can deliver it, but I can always we can always connect and see what's possible to make this perfect. But like this mandala I made, it's made out of one ball of 100 grams, and 100 gram is one cake, which holds 400 meters of yarn, so it's pretty much. Well, this is finger of the gradient fingering for now, and we have some boxes with small balls of hade. Each ball, mini ball, is also hand wind and holds about 20 grams of yarn, and such a box with 8 balls of mini yarn can be used pretty much for everything. If you like to crochet grannies out of it, you can knit an emotional sport chicken. Anything is possible, because you at least have 160 grams of yarn, which makes it about nearly 700 meters of yarn in one little mini box, which makes you can do a lot with it, and have different colors, which makes it a fun thing to do. All boxes are packed randomly, so you can pick your own colors, because, well, most of the boxes contain more color, each box contains same colors or have a different variation. We don't have mini balls. It actually are the less grams of larger skeins that are saved up and can be a full cake anymore. So we turn them in little balls. So each it really depends on what's left at the end of our winding process, and from that we make these little balls. So there is no guarantee in what will be in the box or how we can vary the boxes. We always try to put 8 different colors in the boxes, and they hold all kind of yarns, like fingering solid, decay solid, and the gradient fingering. And of course, decay is separate from the fingering weights. So that's the yarn for now. This is it for now to start up, and in the next months we definitely come up with a lot of new things as more things are scheduled, but I can't just do anything now. But that also leaves something to talk about and show you. So no problem there. It's just for now to show you what we have and what I will do. And besides all the yarn, I also have some fun other things in my shop, like the magazines, and some booklets will come later on. But you're already used to see that from my side. But I also have fun knitting stoppers for your knitting needles and all kinds of things. I have stitch markers, I have cords to put stitches on, but we also have some notions, like a notebook to keep your progress in from your projects. And this is just an example of a deer. We have lots of different and beautiful ones. So take a look if you want to see more of them. They're just simple books where you can do whatever you want. You can scrapbook them, you can do whatever you like. But we also have little project decks like this one. Now I'll have taken the fox because, well, The brand of my own hand-dyed yarn is of course a fox, because they live a lot over here in the Veluwe. And so I took this project back for now. Also available in many versions, and they are pretty big. You can easily put a winded ball of yarn in it with some needles and pattern whatsoever. But as said, available in about 10-20 versions. Also a lot of Notion pockets bag, little metal, how do you say, tins to put your stitch markers in, or needles or whatsoever. All kinds of fun stuff, but you really have to explore that in the store, because I'm talking way too much already now. This is just an overview of what's in the store for now, and of course over the months I will more detail other things and tell more about different colors and whatsoever. For now you have an idea of what I will bring. And about what to bring, well, how does the future look like for this next year? I will tell you now. Well, that's it for now. I think I have told you a lot in a short amount of time. I have showed you what Felus Fairoot will be. And it's time to slowly head to the end of this little chat. Well, what to expect for the future, for this new year, for 2026. Of course, a lot of pattern work, because, well, although I have started a shop with hand-dyed yarns, you see knitting patterns. That doesn't mean the crochet part is vanished into thin air. There is still a lot of crochet pattern work ready to release out of last year and even 2 years ago, but I simply didn't have the time to publish everything, or wanted to always, because if you bring too much pattern work at the same time, I feel it doesn't get the attention, and it overrules each other a little bit. So that's also part of the reason I have saved up a little. And when it comes to crochet, there is one real big thing this year what will happen, but as I have told you many times, I will talk about it later. There are new knitting patterns coming up. I've showed you already some in the last minutes, because there are also a lot of people who like new knitting patterns from my hand, and it's I can knit perfectly, but I never took the time and investment to write some patterns. And the last 2 years I have done that sometimes, but they are actually really well accepted. And with an hand-dyed yarn store as an extension of your pattern work, I think it's the most common step to also invest some time in that process. So that's coming up. Well, there is at the end of the beginning of the next month, about 6 and 7 of February, I will be on a Dutch event, the Breidagen in Breda. I expect no one of you who is watching this will be there, because, well, most of you are outside of the Netherlands when watching my English vlog, and I don't think you will be able to visit, but it's a very exciting thing to do, because it's the first time I can also show my products in real, and it's a little bit scary, but also very much fun to do. And I definitely will share some more about that progress also. I will try to film some things when being there, how things look, and how things will go. And I will talk about it in the next video I will make, because I think it is a fun thing to do, to record about one time in a month a bit of something like this, a little video of, and tell you what kind of new things I have, what new things are coming, what has happened, but also to show you, if I'll have the time and be able to, show you some of the places here on the Veluwe of which colors are dyed on, because I can imagine you really have no idea what the Veluwe means, because, well, I also don't know exactly each place in each country and how it looks, but it might give you some insight of what this little thing I have created really means, and I can show you a lot. So it might be a fun thing to add to next videos, also a part of where I live, how does nature look in the Netherlands, what is to find. So that is also a future plan, and I do hope I can realize it, but it also depends on how busy it will be. I have lots of plans going on for this year. I already am working on an advent calendar, because it takes a lot of time and the concept is really already written. And although we just had Christmas behind the corner and you just packed out your advent calendar if you had one, it is a good thing to already think about it, because well, most companies are branding it at the beginning of, well, around March, April. It takes a lot of time to dye all the yarn in it, but I think I'll have a really, really wonderful concept, and when the time is there I definitely will tell you. But that is something I work on at the background already. I'm dyeing a new collection for spring, which is a really great one, and I think you guys will love that either. It has something to do with my second book gallery, but I will tell you later on. From this day the store is open, so you can explore and see and read and whatsoever what you like. I will put the web address under here in the description, but it's just velusverfgoed.com. But I can imagine, because there is a Dutch title in it, it is hard to just tick it away and find it. The website is built, the whole store is built in 6 weeks, besides dyeing, besides working in healthcare. So you can imagine probably there might be a mistake here and there. It happens. I still have to fine-tune things, but the basics are really fine, and I think it's a beautiful thing put together for now. But there might be some typos or whatsoever, so don't be too critical about that. I will make sure it all will be fine at the end. And if you want to place an order outside of the European Union, you will have to, of course there are taxes to pay, but when ordering, at the end of your order, when you have your shopping cart ready and you start checking out, there is a 21% reducement on your order. It goes automatically, you don't have to do anything about it, but it's to reduce the VAT, the taxes you pay here in the Netherlands on your order, because there is a logical reason. You live outside of the European Union and you don't have to pay them, because you pay them as a fee when the package enter your country. Then the customs receive your package and they will send you a bill to fulfill the shipment, and that is actually the taxes you pay. So notice that when you're ordering from outside of the European Union, you have to pay a custom fee when the package is in your country, but you have the reducement on items you shop in my web shop automatically by the system. So that's important to tell. Shipment is pricey these days. So also keep in mind that if you're ordering from outside of the European Union, or actually even in the European Union, shipping costs are definitely not that really cheap. I'll try to keep it as cheap as possible. So if you order one skein, might seal it down and put it in just airmail envelopes, so we can save at least $10 of money to shipping costs. So I'll try to think with it and make sure things are still, well, fun to do. But I can't help that shipping costs are getting higher and higher, and we also have to deal with certain rules and taxes from governments and whatsoever. So I don't blame me for what it is. That. Well, I hope to see you next time in a video. For now, have a really good day and make the best year out of it. I'm start working on this business and keep making patterns and come with updates, and I will do that with all the pleasure and joy I'll have. It's a bit weird to not have a full day job at the moment and just be your own boss and invest so many time in something you do really, really gladly. But it also makes me a better person, I think. At least my mindset is much better. So, for now, I've talked enough. The next, as said, I try to keep these vlogs a bit going on. And the next one will be probably next month, where I hope to show you something of the event, the Dutch event. It's the Knitting Days. Where I've been, and show you how that went and how it was going, and to share some more news about what's to come, and show you something about Veluwe as well. Anyhow, it will all be fine. For now, I've talked enough. I'm gonna end. And if you have any questions, uncertainties whatsoever, if you have something you like or want to share, or you don't understand something, or you have a question about a product or whatsoever, don't hesitate to ask me. You can put a comment here with this video. You can also send me an email. You can put out a contact form at the shop. There are many ways to contact me, and I will definitely answer them if you have a question. So that's it for now. I wish you a really good day, and I'm sure we see each other again, maybe in real, and if not, then virtually like this. So see you next time, and make the best out of it.